Yo, what's up guys? Back here with another video. Today we are going to be going over some teams that I built on stream and give you guys access to some teams to take advantage of and use. I know right now rentals are a little bit scarce at the start of the format, so basically this is meant to address that to kind of help you guys out, find some teams that you guys would like to use and take advantage of. So basically here, you guys will see we have 4 different teams: Kyogre, Solgaleo, Velttel, and Groudon. I'm going to be going through each of them, talk about their strengths, and basically about how to play them, and then I will be showing the rental codes for each of them ordered here. So make sure to take advantage of that. Guys, if you haven't already, make sure to support all the links down below. We actually build these live on Twitch, so make sure to come and check out the Twitch where you guys can see our live building and work on this. And also make sure to just, support pretty much everything else. I have my Twitter link down below if you guys are interested in updates. I also have my coaching site down there where you guys can learn how to build like this, one-on-one. So definitely make sure to take advantage of that if you ever need extra help besides like streams and YouTube. So going into our first team here, Kyogre. Kyogre is basically a very strong special attacking mon. The main thing you can do with Kyogre is kind of get it set up with the Torn's Tailwind and make sure to go for really strong water spouts in Tailwind. You'll see Mystic Water is here to boost the water damage for the mon, so it's just very strong. This Kyogre is built to be a little bit speedy but have a lot of bulk, so it's kind of a good balance in between. Also really supported well by Incineroar. So Tornadus is here, basically can taunt other Munguses, it can set Tailwind for the Kyogre, and it can Rain Dance to cover for Groudon swap-ins. So definitely a solid choice to be with it. I went along with the decision to make it bulkier so it could take water spouts from opposing Kyogre, and a Citrus Berry so that it could be to 3-hit KO'd by a lot of different attacks. Looking over here at Regieleki is meant to set screens for the team. Electro plus Water Spout is also a very viable combination as well. Screens is also very good for boosting Kyogre's bulk and just making the team very bulky in general. You'll see Kartana here. This is our main Kyogre check. Also checks Groudon pretty decently, along with just a solid offensive mon on the physical end, which the team kind of lacks if Kartana is not on the team. You'll see Leaf Blade, Sacred Sword, Smart Strike, and Guillotine. The choice for Guillotine over Aerial Ace is because Guillotine gives you a lot of good value if you're able to get it off. It also lets you go for max strikes, which are arguably a little bit more valuable here, considering you already have a flying type on Tornadus. And Guillotine can get you out of a lot of sticky situations in terms of, like, let's say you're down, like, 2 Mons and you have no way to one-shot an opposing Mon. At least Guillotine gives you some outs for that. Also, the risk-reward versus, like, being able to take out a restricted with, like, a Guillotine if you get, like, lucky and, like, you're behind in a game is just, like, very solid. So it just gives you another option to come back in the game, and it gives you a consistent option with max strike. You'll see Safety Goggles and Incineroar here, helps with the Amoonguss matchup. Also Taunt to shut down opposing Amoonguss and other Trick Room mons. You'll see Flare Blitz, Parting Shot here. Parting Shot lets you redirect, get into your Kyogre safely, reset your weather. Flare Blitz allows you to just deal damage with the Incineroar. This is also your main check to Kartana, besides your own Kartana and Tornadus. Then over here on Amoonguss, Clear Smog, meant to deal with Xerneas. Rage Powder, meant to support your mons. Spore, meant to put mons to sleep, obviously disrupt them, and protect just to keep the Amoonguss safe. So the rental code for this team is right here. You guys can see that. I will also full screen so you guys can get a better view of it. So this is going to be the team. Here is the rental code, guys. So this is a standard Tornogre team for you guys to take advantage of and use. So now, going back here, we'll go over to the Solgaleo team. This team was a little bit more experimental. Basically, the focus of this team was trying to get it to be a bit bulkier and kind of solid against a lot of mons in the format. So you'll see that Entei here is meant to support the team with Snarl. This also is kind of your Ghost Horse matchup because you can go for light screens with the Grim Snarl and go for Snarls to kind of weaken the Ghost Horse and take advantage of like how especially like biased it is. Then you also have Solgaleo, which can deal with the Ice Horse and also a lot of other restricteds. You have Bulldoze to support the Solgaleo so that you can outspeed base 100s, mons like Charizard, Zapdos, not necessarily like obviously with the Bulldoze, but just mons in their speed tier. And obviously Wild Charge lets you take advantage of the Coco's electric terrain to deal with flying types. You also can hit Kyogre pretty strongly, and Earthquake also gives you Max Quake, which allows you to boost your special defense and hit stuff like Incineroar. Then you see over here, Landorus is meant to provide Intimidate support for the team, also helps you deal with Groudon and Zacian so that you can weaken it down. Coco here is just meant to provide an electric type mon that also not only helps with opposing water types. This also really helps you deal with the Velttel because otherwise you wouldn't really have a good way to deal with the Velttel. Amoonguss here also provides solid Rage Powder support, can shut down Amoonguss with Clear Smog. Spore as well, just to slow stuff down even when you're not using Coco. You can also support the Landorus in the lead with an Amoonguss, and then protect, obviously, straightforward. So yeah, Then we go down here, Velttel. This team meant at reducing a lot of damage. Actually, before I forget, let me go back and actually put the Solgaleo code on stream for you guys. So this is the Solgaleo code, guys. Make sure to take advantage of that code and use it. So this is a very solid team. I like this. I like this team a lot. It's definitely one of the more experimental ones, so you guys will have to let me know how you like it. And obviously, we'll be putting out more teams like this, so make sure to keep an eye out on the videos. Also, make sure to support the channel. So we go to Velttel. Metagross, very, very solid. Basically, weakness policy, you can side sucker punch yourself to proc it. It won't do too much with Velttel because our Velttel's AV, and it also has reduced attack because of our nature, so it's not going to be doing as much to the Metagross. Then we also have Regieleki, which can set screens to support this Metagross. The main way this team also deals with Charizard is by going for Electro Web plus Rock Slide, specifically Rockfall most of the time, to kill Charizard, so that's just very helpful. Velttel appreciates the bulk from screens and also Steel Spikes and Max Quakes from Metagross, so it's able to go for Snarls, kind of stall out maxes, and kind of keep itself alive with Oblivion Wing. You'll also see that you can Sucker Punch here to quickly remove threats that are like low on HP, which is just very solid. Then you have Incineroar over here, which is able to take a bunch of hits. This Incineroar is calced to live 2 Precipice Blades from Groudon, so if you swap this into Groudon, you take damage with the Shuka Berry. It will only do up to 30%. Then you should be able to live the next Precipice Blades from Groudon. And this is like max attack Groudon. This is without Life Orb, though. Finny over here, it has Haze to shut down opposing Xerneas. This also gives you a solid straight direct check to opposing Velttel, so you can actually break them. And if you look over here also at the Incin, it's also running Snarl, so you'll see that there's a lot of damage reduction. Snarl, Intimidate, Light Screen, Reflect, Steel Spike, Quake, and then over here on the P2, we have Eerie Impulse to reduce special attack even more. This makes this team very good versus Xerneas. And also, this P2 can guaranteed live a +1 close combat from Zacian, so very, very solid there. So definitely a cool team, definitely favoring the more bulky end of teams. So make sure to give this team a try. This team also can, or this P2 rather, can also take 2 Water Spouts from Kyogre. And this P2 guaranteed lives a Max Geyser for Mystic Water Kyogre. So definitely super solid there. Here's a rental code for the team over here. Make sure to take advantage of that. And to, yeah, let me know how you like this team as well. So these are all a bunch of obviously solid teams. They all kind of serve different natures. They try and highlight the best parts of these restricteds. I definitely think the best way to play Velttel is bulky, so it definitely makes a lot of sense. We look over here. So this team is definitely one of the more like linear teams in terms of like the setup. Besides the Umbreon, I think the Umbreon is very cool for this team. But basically the main thing you're doing here is you're kind of using your Indeedee to set up either your Dusclops or your Groudon. Groudon here can go for Swords Dance to set itself up. And obviously the Indeedee is fast so that it can set Safeguard very quickly. Normally you want your terrain to be slower, but I wanted this Indeedee, especially since it has a Sash and it doesn't need bulk, to be able to set Safeguard very quickly above like a lot of mons that would be going for Will-O-Wisp. So obviously, follow me, Expanding Force pretty solid, Protect. Now, the Groudon is actually min speed, so the reasoning why is because you want to be as slow as possible, especially with Dusclops. And your Sun Abusers are going to be the fast things anyways, so for the most part, that's fine for Groudon. You can change this Groudon to Adamant if you do not prefer this, and you're looking at the team pace anyways. So you can make sure to change that as well. The Venusaur over here, so the Venusaur is pretty fast. This is meant to outspeed Zacian. This also outspeeds Kyogre with a Scarf, obviously in Sun. So you can deal damage to that. Very, very invested in special attack. The Weather Ball also gives you another check to Zacian because you can bring in Sun and you can go for a Max Flare or you can go for a Weather Ball to deal with Zacian. Charizard also deals with Zacian, but sometimes Zacian can run Wild Charge, so this helps you deal with it with another Mon. Now, over here on the Charizard, Charizard is very good at taking advantage of Groudon Sun, can deal a bunch of damage. The main role it serves on this team is kind of being able to check like a bunch of annoying steals in the format, and along with Venusaur, just kind of supporting your Groudon well in the Sun mode. So, Dusclops over here, pretty straightforward. Will-O-Wisp, obviously, lower accuracy, so Gravity covers for that. But the main use of Gravity is kind of grounding all the opposing Mons, so that Groudon can go for fully accurate Precipice Blades and also hit flying types, which is just very helpful on this team. And also, Will-O-Wisp cannot miss after you go for Gravity, very solid. This Mon, or this Dusclops, can live in Astral Barrage from Life Orb, Modest, Maxed Ghost Horse, Calyrex Ghost Horse. Obviously, the thing is you're never going to be able to live a Helping Hand with Dusclops, so in that case, you'd want to utilize your Umbreon here. So that's going to go into this Umbreon, actually, which I think is the coolest part of this team. Basically, this Umbreon is meant to deal with stuff like opposing Calyrex, specifically the Ghost version, but it can also deal with the Ice version, but you also have Will-O-Wisp on Dusclops to deal with that, along with some Fire types, or rather, along with your Charizard. And also too, Yawn lets you slow the momentum of the opponent. Moonlight also gives you more healing in Sun. It actually lets you heal more health, which is pretty solid in general. And obviously Foul Play and Snarl kind of reduces damage of opposing mons, and you can outsolve Velttels by going for Foul Play and Snarl. So it gives you a strong endgame win con, especially versus Velttel teams. This also helps a lot versus mons that are more psychic oriented, so like Mewtwo, even though I don't think it's great, a bunch of other psychic mons, and just in general gives you a strong endgame win con if you have Sun Up and you can Moonlight and you can Yawn and just Snarl and annoy the opponent. And it definitely enables setup with your Groudon. So definitely a cool choice on the team. You guys will have to let me know how you like that as well. We will be doing more videos like these because I know Series 8 can be a little bit tough, especially when series start, kind of finding the correct teams. You look over here. Right here with Groudon, you're going to see that we have the rental code over here. Pretty much everything as we talked about, so make sure to take advantage of these teams and make sure to let me know how you like them. So yeah, this is going to be pretty much the conclusion of the video. Quick rundown on all these teams. This is meant to set up Trick Room early, stall them out, use Umbreon to kind of disrupt the opponent, and take advantage of two of your more offensive maxers along with Groudon. This really meant at reducing damage, putting yourself at a good board position, trying to slow down the opponent. Over here, this is also kind of the same idea, except that Solgaleo is a little bit more offensive because you can bulldoze into it. Solgaleo and Metagross kind of perform similar roles, it's just its team is built a little bit differently. Also, Coco gives you a better Velttel check. Then over here, you'll see that Kyogre basically meant to take advantage of your weather, protecting the Kartana with Rain and using the Torn to be able to Tailwind up. So that's going to be the main ideas with this team. If you guys are interested in seeing these teams made live, I do it all on twitch.tv if you guys would like more insight into that. Also, if you guys would like like to kind of improve at the game and you guys are trying to find a way to do that, I also offer private coaching, so make sure to check that out. Thank you guys again for all of the support on the videos. I hope you guys are enjoying these and these are helpful to you. Make sure to let me know in the comments what kind of videos you'd like to see next. Make sure to share to someone else who may need a team, and also just support the channel. So thank you so much, guys, and I will see you guys on the next video. Peace out, guys.